Aloha e Malamapona. We have Doug here on his first day, and Doug asked a question about what to do if someone comes up and does this. Okay? So, 5 ways to solve this problem. The first one is preemptive. If I see Doug from a distance, if I'm in a position of some authority, like this is my home or I'm in charge of an event, I can be proactive offensive and be like, hey, why are you here? And prevent him from even coming close. Now the opposite of that is proactive defensive, and that is I'm just out and about somewhere in a park or something. In this case, I don't want to move straight back because then I'm giving him that aggressive superiority that he wants. So instead, I'm going to vector off. I'm going to be like, oh, excuse me, or excuse me, sir. And now what he sees is a presentation of readiness. And that's going to make him think twice about actually shoving me, okay? So that's our first one. Our second one is in the moment to deflect the shove. So he comes in to shove me, and I'm like, hey, excuse me. Doesn't matter if it's the other hand. Excuse me, and I'm going to vector off, not let him shove me, but also I'm moving on angle to the corner, not moving straight back. If I move straight back, he just shoves me again, all right? Now, where we actually have to engage and do something is going to be the next 3, all right? So, if it's already in the midst of the shove, where he's already shoving me, I'm going to drop into base and I'm going to counter his shove and counter his base at the same time. What am I really doing is I'm preventing his next move. Why? Because someone who shoves you is going to shove you again. They're not just going to do this once. They're going to be like, oh, brah, you over here, what? Or they're going to shove and hit. So I want to preempt his next movement. So when he shoves me, excuse me, I know where his other hand is, and by going for the shoulder, I'm rotating his capital letter I. On a more advanced level, I'll do this very slowly, Doug, so I don't freak you out. He comes in to shove me again, and I'm going to nail his hip. All right? He comes in to shove me again, and I'm going to nail his hip. Because your hips and your shoulders are like a capital letter I. If you hit one end of that bar for your capital letter I, you rotate the center of your spine. And that rotation forces movement. All right? So, 1, offensive, defensive, proactive. 2, in the moment, deflection. Okay? Then we get to number 3 that I just showed, which is while I'm being shoved, I counter the shove by rotating his capital letter I. That's 3. Now 4 requires a lot more training, but he shoves me and I go, hey Doug, don't go shoving people, right? Or he shoves me and I go, hey Doug, it's really not nice to shove people. Can I give you a lesson on courtesy and respect? Takes a lot more training, but totally possible, right? Now, much more serious, life-threatening situation. Let's say you're a Red Cross or Peace Corps volunteer in the Ukraine, and a North Korean soldier comes up with deadly intent. This North Korean soldier comes up to attack me, an innocent Red Cross Peace Corps volunteer. Then in the moment, I can Bruce Lee him, and I can intercept his shove with a counterattack to a vulnerable area. So, that gives us 5 ways to deal with an unwelcome shove. Here comes to shove you. First one, as you see him coming, you vector off and put your hands up. Touches you, push his hand away. That's number 2. Now, as he actually shoves you, you're going to push into his shoulder. Yes. There you go. That's number 3. Now, the techniques I did, where I'm putting him in a lock or in a hammer lock here, that might be a little hard. But what is easily doable in one day is just to get a C-clamp on his arm and pull him out of the way. So you might not be able to keep him there, but at least you're making it easy for you to escape. So as his arm comes in, I do the deflection, and I get 2-on-1, right? 2-on-1, and you move. So number 4, as he goes toward you, you deflect, you grab his arm, pull him away, and you escape. Nice. Now for the last one, the intercept I used as his coming in was to go straight in with an intercept. The nice version of that is just to say stop. So as EJ goes to shoving, bang, right? Okay? So all you're going to do is as one hand deflects this, instead of stopping at the shoulder, we're going to stop him at center of mass. So we're going to give that a try. Give that a try, Doug, as he comes in, push his hand, and stop him in his tracks. So, in real life, everyone has a favorite lead. It's like what you would use if you were surfing or skateboarding or snowboarding. And all you have to do is practice and you'll know. But in real life, chances are that's what you're going to do. Why this is relevant is because it doesn't matter what my preferred lead is to execute the solution. Especially on the first one. I sense there's a problem. Hey, stop there, right? I could be in a right lead, or hey, stop there, I could be in a left lead. Doesn't matter. If I'm doing the second one, where in the process, I could do that if I want to be right, or I could do that if I want to be right, because the same stimulus, different response. Okay? So if he's shoving me with his right hand, I could right lead to the inside, or I could parry and right lead to the outside. If he's attacking with that same hand, I can left lead to the outside, or I can parry and left lead to the inside. It totally doesn't matter. So the difference is that little extra half beat if I'm doing that parry before my intercept, but the functionality of the legs is the same. Also true on the second one, the preemptive. As he comes in here, that would be preemptive right lead. This would be preemptive left lead. Same thing, I'm just to the outside, all right? If I'm going to the next one, right, which would be to try to control him, again, it doesn't matter. I can be in a right lead and go into my movement, or I could be in a left lead and go into my movement. Really doesn't matter. Same thing with my counterattack. I could go inside beat or outside beat. That's right lead. Or I could go inside left or outside left. Doesn't matter. So all you have to do is figure out what your favorite lead is and train your options. Clear, so you say clear back here. You're gonna hold that and point it at the center of my chest, all right? So now the key is that you're always moving to the corner. You don't move straight back. If I move straight back, I'm still in the pathway of violence. Now granted, his example is a shove, not a firearm, but this is only dangerous in that one direction. So what I'm trying to point out is, it doesn't matter my lead, it matters that I get out of the way. It doesn't matter my lead, it matters that I get out of the way. So you might be right-footed, you might be left-footed, but if the stimulus is the same, your options are doable on both sides. So if his shove is here, and you're a right lead person, I can deflect from the inside and be in a right lead, or I can deflect from the outside and be in a right lead. If you're a left lead person, I can deflect from the inside and be in a left lead, or I can deflect from the outside and be in a left lead. It really doesn't matter. You're going to go to your comfort zone, but the key is to get out of his.
Huh.